If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about being attached to unavailable people. So I do these YouTube lives every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys do find this video content of value, please hit that like, share, subscribe to me, maybe share it to your friends, whoever that needs this help. That's a great way of supporting me and in this channel too as well. And if you do feel so inclined, feel free to, send any donations equal to the value of this video. It will be much appreciated. But of course, leave comments. I would love to answer them. If you guys have questions, I would love to answer them as well. But of course, how the show goes is that I would always start usually with a recap, and then I will have 4 slides that I will be talking about today. But today is going to be a little bit different. I won't have a recap because Mitchell wants to talk about something else. And anyways, the 4 slides I'm going to be talking about is 1, it's self-sabotage. Number 2 is emotionally unavailable. Number 3 is reflected on yourself. And number 4 is spend time with your own thoughts. Reflect and then spend time on it. Because it's easy to kind of just reflect on something, but it's another thing to actually spend time on your own thoughts. That's how there's going to be progressions in your life if you want to be a little bit happier and understand who you are as a person, right? Because we all have traumas. Right? And it could be big or small, but depending on what that trauma is, that's how your life and how you have to deal with it. So in order to understanding your past traumas, that's going to lead you forward by letting go some of the things in the past. But you have to be aware of the cause. If you're not aware of the cause, how are you able to let go, right? So that's very important, and that's key to success, to your happiness, right? So anyways, I do want to start out with not a recap today, but I do want to talk about how come being attached to unavailable people, like why do we do that, right? And part of that stems from not having what we want. And if you really do love and value yourself, you will take care of yourself. That's the bottom line. If you love and value yourself, you will take care of yourself, and before trying to seek happiness in another person. Because what does that mean? It means that you're codependent, and being codependent means that, think of it of a Hollywood term, where being codependent, like that's the Hollywood highlight. It's man meets woman, woman meets man, they make each other happy, and that's a false ideal. It's not reality. And ignoring that type of reality, there's going to be consequences. And so by understanding that's not the way to approach it, and there's better ways of approaching it, is actually seeing reality as it is, right? Now, Hollywood goes and shows man chases woman, pursues her, and she runs away, and then he ends up at an airport, and he confesses and kind of vomits his feelings. And then what ends up happening is she's like, oh my God, he really cares about me. I'm gonna fall in love, right? You do that in reality, you're gonna lose her 100% of the time. Well, okay, let's call it 98, 99%, right? Now, number 2 is I do want to ask you guys to, before diving into this live, whether you're watching this post or post live on a replay or during the live, is really, I want you guys to question your intentions when you are listening to this. I want you guys to really question your intentions. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, I want you guys to question your intentions. Why do I want this? Is it because I want to fill in this void? Am I insecure that I want this type of love, even if it means that the person is not reciprocating that same type of feeling? Because that's what it's about, right? Being attached to people that's unavailable to you, right? It might be, and it might feel like it's a direct attack, but you also have to remember that, we all like to feel a little bit more important, because, that's one of the 6 basic human needs, is to feel important. But your importance to yourself. You are always going to be the most valuable person to you, because you have to live within yourself for the rest of your life. And so, of course, you want to feel like you're important. You want to feel heard. You want to be understood. But it's how you're going to receive that that's going to make you feel important, right? And if you're a person that just takes and you're unwilling to give, and depending on how you give it also matters, right? Based off your intentions, that that gives you the sense of importance. So, are you doing this to fill in to fill in a void? Question your intentions, right? Am I insecure? Are you insecure? And if you are this type of person, you have to admit it to yourself. Nobody else. You don't have to announce it to the world. You just gotta understand, like, hey, maybe I am a little bit insecure, you know. And a story to share with you was, I was insecure. I was very insecure of myself, because I thought, no one would really like me. Like, no one would want to be with me, because I haven't done anything for myself, and I wanted somebody to be there for me. And it sounded great, but the reality was, unless I work on myself, nothing will change. And so I had to put into work. And that's what ended up happening. I invested in myself. And then I saw the progression, and I was like, wow, I love this feeling, because I get to learn. And while I was learning, I was, getting the benefits from it too. So that allowed me to not only understand who I was, but it paid good dividends by, like, it's starting to pay off. People are starting to be like, oh, you're different now, or you're not the same person as you were a year or two ago. It's something's different. I can't really point out what it is, but I really like this. I really like this. And then so I started questioning the intentions, like, what do I want? And knowing what I want, I had a direction, right? So, okay, next point. Am I feeling competitive, or am I in a more collaborative mindset? Because if you're in this competitive mindset, you're always trying to fight against something versus going with the current, right? Or going with the flow, if you will. So that's really important to understand, that if you're always trying to compete, you will always try to fight, and that's exhausting. But if you're collaborating, you both are there to support each other, to have a great time. You're there to you're having a teammate on your side that that you could trust. What type of mindset are you on, right? And unless you're at peace with yourself, you're always going to be at a more competitive mindset. So, am I ignore? And another one is, are you ignoring their reality? Do they just not like you? Did they tell you they don't like you? And if they do, does it hurt your ego? What's going on? Really question your intentions. So, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. All right. Now, I'm going to jump into my first slide, which is self-sabotage. So, self-sabotage, right? They're either not interested, or they just are emotionally unavailable. Whatever it is, the outcome is they're just not interested, or they're not there. They can't be there for you. So you have to understand that if they're not there for you, you have to be willing to let that go. And there's two sides, right? There's not two sides, but there's two things that you want to look at. What are the good and what are the bads, right? So if someone you desire doesn't show you any interest, you can think about it, but you have to find a way to move forward with it. That's what progression is moving forward. But also letting go is still also moving forward. So the bad is, if you dwell on it and ignore signs that you're not and that they're not interested, your time, your effort, your energy will feel like it's being wasted. But that's ignoring reality. So you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. And the good thing is about this is, when you find out why you like them. Why do you like this person? Is it because of the quality, right? Question your motive, your intentions. Why do you like this person? Oh, she's beautiful, or he's such a great person. But are you ignoring some of the facts? Hi, Bree. But are you ignoring some of the facts that this person might not be the best person for you? Are you ignoring that? I knew I was when I saw a girl. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, but she disrespects me. But that's okay. Like, no, that wasn't okay. But in the beginning, I thought it was. It's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm willing to live with it. But at the end of the day, was I willing to tolerate that disrespect? And is that disrespect going to change if that person were to be in my life? And the answer was no, because a person can't love you or sleep with you or do anything with you if they don't respect you. So there's no love. So what am I falling into? I'm falling into disappointment. I know this is going to end bad, but forcing myself to be in there is not going to be good. So you want someone that's your teammate. You want someone that's your teammate, right? Hi, Nathan. You could be my teammate on Fortnite, all right? So, but that's what I'm talking about. You want someone that's there for you, that's easygoing, easy to get along with, that's excited to be with you, that's enthusiastic. Like, who doesn't want to be with that person? Instead of, look, I need to try to prove to this person, like, what are you trying to prove? And the fact is, when you are trying to prove to someone that you are worthy of something, it means that it seems like you're coming from a place of weakness, and it's displaying, or you're conveying that you're scarce. You don't have a whole lot going for yourself, right? And what you have doesn't matter. It's who you are. You want to be a so that's the one of the major keys is who you become is more important than what you get. Who you become. So I want you guys to always remember, like, who am I becoming? Where am I in life? And why am I attached to this person that's not available? And what's causing this? Where am I in my life? Spend time with your thoughts, right? And I'll get into that in later on down the line. But the good is, you want to question your motive. Are you looking for romance, or are you looking for relationship? Do you just want to feel loved, or are you looking for someone that can be there for you? And if the answer is like, oh, I just, I'm looking for romance, do you deserve it? Are you worthy? Because you have to understand, like, is this something that is attainable? And if the answer is yes, that's cool. But is it sustainable? Because then eventually you're going to be back down in the slumps again. It's like, well, you want to be there. Of course, you need experience, and I understand that, but you want to prepare yourself. Prior preparations prevents poor performance. The 5 Ps. Or 6. I think it's 6. Excuse me. But that's why you want to question your intentions. Why do you want it? Are you looking for romance, or are you looking for a relationship? Then you will be able to find a cause. And then once you be able to find a cause, then you're aware of what you need to fix for yourself. Because, I will help me for you, and you will help you for me. Same thing, right? Taking a step back and understanding each other, right? Understanding your core values, right? So, moving on, they're not emotionally available. Maybe it's not the right time. They might have just gotten out of a relationship. It could be possible. Or they're just more closed off because of something that caused that trauma in the past. And whatever the trauma is, you have to do it for yourself. Bottom line, you have to participate in your own rescue. No one's coming to save you. If there's something that needs to be fixed on yourself, so that you can move forward easier with your life. Maybe you're closed off and you want to feel loved. Well, if you want love, you have to be willing to give love. Bottom line, you can't receive love by just taking. Love is about giving, right? That's what a relationship is. And that's why if you are in any type of relationship, friendship, intimate relationship, family, whatever it is, you have to be willing to give love, right? And that's how, because at the end of the day, we're speaking to humans, and humans are full of emotions, right? Especially women, right? Listen to a woman talk. I could guarantee you they in any type of language, they're going to use the word feel. I feel like this is what makes me feel. Listen to the vocabulary, right? And listen to the tone of voice. Where are they coming from? What place, right? And us guys, we're very logical creatures, so we're trying to understand her, but we understand it in the way we perceive it. But it's by understanding them, that's how we could operate and understand each other. And of course, you want a lady in your life that understands men too. Like, what would I like from the, if I want to, if she respects you and she wants to be with you, she's gonna think about you, and there's certain qualities that she's gonna be thinking like, oh, what can I do to make my man happier, and what can I do as a man to make my woman happier, right? Then you're there to give. You're there to give. Going to Hi Nathan, I see you. But that's the importance. It's by understanding that, right? So if they're not emotionally available, don't sit around. Don't sit around. Like, time is limited. Time is limited. Spend it somewhere where you appreciate it. That's it. Spend it in a time and a place that you're gonna be appreciated. So, but don't sit around, right? So maybe that's not the right time. They gotten out of a relationship, or worse, they're in one, right? And then you become this homewrecker. The last thing you ever want to be is become a homewrecker, because what ends up happening is, if you're a homewrecker and you wreck someone's home, or in that relationship, if you will, it's gonna come back and bite your ass. It's going to come back and bite your ass. The reason why is because that person lacks integrity. They lack loyalty. So where does that place you? You have to question what you do. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, you just got to be yourself. Well, what if being yourself is not enough? What if being yourself mean you need to invest into yourself by understanding who you are, not what you got, and what actually makes you happy. And this is kind of like the cheat sheet. What do make you happy? What is sustainable for you? So you have to understand that, right? What qualities do you need in a person? I could tell you my qualities that I need in a person, right? I want someone that's funny, that I could have fun with, that's light, and it's fun, that doesn't take life too serious, but we take each other serious. That's what I want. I want that person to love me. I want to love that person. They need to communicate. I value loyalty, commitment, and that's what I want. That's what I want. I need that. If that person fills in 9 out of the 10 things, but it's missing one at the core, it's gonna build resentment. Mitchell need no need for that. I feel like both of you guys are on the same page, just typing. Anyways, yeah, like, where are they? Are they emotionally unavailable for you, right? So what you can do is find out the why. I've been talking about that. If you're desperate to be in a relationship with that person, you're beginning with the potential relationship with the wrong intentions. So that's why I always have to say, you got to question your intentions. How to get rid of the resentment? Well, it depends on where that resentment is coming from. Where is that coming from? Why do you resent that person? Is it some past traumas that's causing you to believe a certain ideal that person is? Or is that person really that type of person? You got to look at reality as it is, not better than it is, not worse than it is, but as it is. And you can't ignore the reality. Well, you can, but you can't ignore consequences. So there's always going to be that troubling idea. In order for you to not have that type of resentment, it's to really align yourself with that type of person that aligns with you. And a lot of times I've seen so many people get into relationships that they're not even happy with, that but their reasoning behind that is, we've been together for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. We have kids. We got a mortgage. We got to pay this off, right? Like, and that's how they tie themselves. And, humans, we buy things with emotions, right? We You go into the Apple store because and then you buy that Apple product or Samsung, whatever, Android, and you purchase it with your emotions, and then we use logic and reasoning to justify why we made that purchase. The same thing applies as uh when we get into a relationship. I like this person. This is how they make me feel. So I'm invested now. I want to be with that person. And then you use logic and reasoning to justify why you like that person. Not to say that is wrong. I like this person because this person had good qualities. But then there's also qualities that people also have too. They don't come with the good without the bad. You have to understand that everybody has red flags. I have red flags. Everybody got red flags. But it's how you are willing to understand what is wrong with you, so that weed out some of the red flags. Some of the red flags I had was I was easily angry before. Like, I get angry easily before. And then I was like, why do I get angry so much? Why? Someone cuts me off, I'm in a red light, and that person went and I didn't. Like, something happened to me. All these things are happening to me. And then once I started realizing the reason why I'm mad is because I'm just very freaking impatient. Well, what can solve this impatience? Well, one, by being a little bit early, being a little bit more prepared. Am I in a rush? Is it really that important that I get there 2 minutes earlier? Am I that late? If you are late, then why did you leave late? So I started questioning my own ideals. I need to work on myself, because how would I attract that person that I want if I'm not even there? How am I going to do that? So immediately I was like, I had to work on myself. There were a lot of flaws that I had, right? And then it's like, well, Mitchell, you were overweight. Look at you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Is that the type of person that you will want to be with? I was like, no, I wanted something a little bit better, right? And of course, I'm not saying, yeah, green flags, right? But it's like, do I have good qualities? Yes. But do I want to let go? How am I going to let go of some of the red flags that I have, so that when I do meet the right person, is it going to align? Because let's just say I do meet the right person and the right person is there, but I'm not even there with them at their level, they're not going to stick around. So it might be attainable, but it's not going to be sustainable. Right? So now, anyways, I have to move on to my second slide. But being emotionally unavailable, right? And I want to explain some of the traits that emotionally unavailable people have. And usually it's because of how we project our reality onto these people. But people that are emotionally unavailable, it doesn't mean that this is all you, but these are some traits that they possess. Right? Number one is they don't communicate consistently. They don't. And they're not going to be serious about you. They're not going to be serious about you. And what I've always discussed about is, life is full of people, right? There's never, quote unquote, the one. But it's aligning yourself with the right person that, you got good chemistry. You guys could have fun. It's light. It's you're attracted to that person. They have good qualities, right? And finding out and being attached to that one person that you can't have is literally self-sabotage, right? So anyways, they're not going to be serious about you. They're going to be a bit more detached from you. You want someone that's excited to be with you, that's easygoing, easy to get along with, that wants to be with you. And they're people that are emotionally unavailable, they avoid deeper conversations. And when I mean deeper, it means maybe it's just not with you, but let's just say you want to get to know them and they don't want to talk about it. It's usually because there's some underlying traumas that is causing them to to prevent themselves from opening up because it reminds them too much of the hurt. And humans, we do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So it's easier to just avoid talking about that topic than to really sit down like, what is bothering you? What happened? What caused you to be like this? Where? How? What can I do to get you to where you want to be? But if they don't even know where they want to be and they want to just be where they're at, there's nothing you can do about it. Someone great could no matter how great you are, you can't bring someone that does not want to do anything for themselves up if they decided that they don't want to go up. But on the flip side, someone bad could bring someone good down, especially if their time is being spent around them so much. That's like, it draws your emotional capacity. It's your mental bandwidth. It just draws energy from you. So a good audit to do is, when you're around that person, do they lift you up? Is there more great than bad? And is the bad pulling too much of the great? Like, what trumps that, right? You want someone that you could communicate with. And I'm not saying that you can't have arguments, right? But having having disagreements is one thing. Men who understands women don't argue with them. That's key. Now, if you're angry and you're arguing, you start yelling because you're bad, or like you're upset with yourself, and life is pressuring you, and you're unleashing it on that person's not going to be really attracted. They're not going to be interested in you. So they're going to back away. And then when they back away, you trying to fix things. It's like, well, you already kind of messed it up. So it's knowing your placement, right? So emotionally unavailable people, right? Communication between you will feel one-sided. It will feel one-sided. Chevelin, you said sustainable, like they're environmental friendly. I don't know what you meant by that, but anyways, you said, why is it self-sabotage if you like the one person that is not available? Since the first place, you know for a fact that the person is not available, and you know your limitation. Why is it self-sabotaging? Well, self-sabotaging is because, think about it. You're setting yourself an expectation for someone that is literally telling you, by maybe they spoke it verbally, or they're showing or displaying through action that they're not interested. But then we perceive it as, oh, maybe they're just having, they're having a bad day, or they just got cold feet, or they're playing hard to get, whatever it may be. It's like, but you're ignoring the reality. And when you set that expectation and it doesn't get met, you're going to be left with disappointment. And disappointment eventually will turn into resentment. And it's like, I did all this for this person that doesn't even appreciate my work, my effort, my time. And time is something you will never get back. So you're setting yourself for that failure because you're projecting your type of reality or your fantasy onto that person that really does not reciprocate the same feeling. So that's why it's self-sabotage. MCT, you said have self-value, then remove yourself from people that you didn't matter, or you don't matter to you, right? So yeah, so you want to be where you're celebrated, not where you tolerate it. Be at a place where someone's happy to see you. Oh my God, Mitchell, I can't wait to see you, right? Like, I want to be there. I don't want to be with someone like, why is he here? Why is this person here? What's going on? Right? Now, if I'm there for like someone else and that person just to be is just hanging there, I'm still gonna be nice about it. I'm not gonna be an asshole. But it's like, well, I still want to be a kind person. I don't need to like you. I just need to be respectful. That's it. Okay. So anyways, emotionally unavailable people, they're superficial, and they could be selfish, right? Everything you see or talk about is usually about the surface level. Their focus is on what they can gain from it rather than what they can give, right? And this doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It means that they're just not willing to open up. And if they're not available and you're still pursuing that and you're trying to push it, they're gonna feel like they're being trapped. And like creatures, any type of creature, you try to trap them in a cage, they don't like it very much. They don't like it unless they feel safer in there. But then then you're risking that. Like, hey, I know there are some people that literally do not want to go out and find love. The reason why is because they've been hurt, they've been traumatized from that, and they're like, well, it's better to just stay indoor. Because why? I won't be left with disappointment. Why? Because if I don't allow anyone in my life and I just kind of get what I need, maybe it's through sex or whatever, right? Just get what I need and back away just to fulfill what I need temporarily. Life's simple pleasures, but not really open up to receive love, then I won't be hurt. There are people like that. I won't be hurt. I won't be disappointed. So, I feel like I cracked the code in the game. Like, no, you didn't. Eventually, you're gonna be like, life sucks. Everybody hates me. It's like, no, you just haven't learned it. You gotta put yourself in that zone and understand that, hey, you know what? In order for me to receive love, I have to be willing to give it. Maybe you were just giving it to the wrong person, and they were takers, and that's why like attracts like. Think about it. Have you ever heard of a relationship with a couple where there's a person that's really giving, and that person is like a narcissist? All they do is take, 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 take. And it's like, well, like attracts like. Well, I'm not a narcissist, but why did I attract a narcissist? Well, think about it. If you are attracting a narcissist and you're a giver, and all they do is just worry about themselves, and they don't really give a shit about you as much, like you can see it through the actions and reciprocations. Like they're not really there to give, but you love giving. Some part in your life, you are attracting these type of people. Maybe it's from your past history, maybe it's the childhood, the way you were brought up, maybe the environment that you're with, because to you, you feel comfortable. We feel comfortable. Like, think about it. In college, if you went to college, like, do you have to sit in the same assigned seats? No. But why do we choose that? Certain people they go to what's familiar, even though it might not be the most rational choice. It's like, I know this person is a piece of shit, but I still want to be with them because it makes me feel at ease. This is what I'm familiar with. There are people that once they sense happiness, they self-sabotage. They're like, oh, I gotta do something. This doesn't feel right. It's causing me to feel kind of anxious when I'm happy. Like, what's this feeling? So they self-sabotage themselves to be a little bit more miserable, so they feel a little bit more at ease because that's what they're most comfortable with. But it's being able to move on and detach yourself and, like, I do deserve a little bit more. Do you really want to put yourself in that situation? And so you really have to understand what you want and move towards that direction, even if that direction might seem a little, you might not have all the answers, but that will be a better path for you. You have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to enjoy that process and understand that eventually, if I am true to myself and I'm genuine with my intentions, and it's one of the most attracting traits is being genuine to another person. So it's what you can give in a relationship. Just remember that. And so let's see. Emotionally unavailable people, they won't feel comfortable being vulnerable, right? They fear rejection and they fear being hurt. And remember that humans, we have two greatest fears: fear that we're not going to be loved, and fear that we're not going to be good enough, that we're inadequate. So it's like, hey, you might be very successful in one area of your life, but when it comes to relationship and love, it's like, well, I have all these great things that I possess. How come that person doesn't see it? So then you use other things to cover it up. So if you're great in a different area of your life, but your relationship is not great, then you try to use this to verify why you're so good. But it's like, well, have you ever sat down and thought about, I'm just not really good at relationships. I just don't understand it. And if you don't understand it, this is a great place for you, because, I'm sharing a lot of the secrets that you could pick up on, where if you understand it and you understand. So if you're a man and you're watching this and you want to be with your girl, but you want to understand her a little bit more, men and women communicate differently. Men and women move at different paces. Like, that's just how it goes. I didn't make this up, right? I'm just adapting to what's going on, and I understand it. So when I hear stories, I know what woman is talking about. But I also understand guys, because I'm a dude and I've been in that situation where, like, she told me she wanted this and I gave it to her, but then when I gave it, she's still not happy. What's going on? I thought I did what she wanted, but I failed to understand that I took what she said at face value, because men were more logical. When you tell us this, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. And then if it doesn't make you happy, that's like, wait, you told me 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now you told me it's 5. It's like, where did the other one come from, right? That's how we operate. But she was like, well, no, you're also missing this. You're also missing that. So that's why when woman says you don't understand, it's because you don't understand what she is feeling. And she doesn't even know how to put it into words. So it's like, how are you supposed to decipher that? Well, you can hear it through her emotions. You can hear it through her words. And of course, yeah, it's also the woman's job to understand, hey, if I want to be with this guy, I have to understand him too. I have to understand that, hey, you know what? Maybe he's coming back. He does need certain things, such as if he comes back home from work and he's tired, she's going to understand, like, oh, he's tired. What can I do to make him happy? Because why? He loves me too. And so it's a reciprocation. You're there to give. But if one person becomes only the taker, then eventually there's going to be resentment and the relationship will crash. That's what's going to happen, right? Because everybody has a limit. And lastly, on this emotionally unavailable people, is you might really like them and you trying to project your own fantasy onto them. But if you really love, like I said, if you really do love and value yourself, remember that not everyone belongs in your world, even though as much as you want it. People come and go. Family, friends, strangers, right? Strangers happen more often. Like, think about the people you walk past. You don't think about them. I don't think about them. You can remember someone that you walk past. You're like, oh, that person's attractive, but you don't give a shit about them. From a distance, they don't really care about you neither. And then when they walk up front to you, it's like a blur, because they don't know you, right? And then you get a little bit more closer, right? Friends or coworkers, right? Do you remember all your coworkers? I absolutely don't. Do you remember all your friends? No, you don't. Do you remember all your past relationships? Maybe. But do you even care about them as much? People come and go in your life. Same thing with family. And the moment you understand that, it's when you're able to kind of detach yourself, where you don't feel like you're emotionally attached to that one person, and just seeing reality as it is. Does this person really like me? Does this person value me, my time, my effort, my energy? And if they don't, let me spend it somewhere else. But if they do, let's keep it moving, right? And already reciprocating, right? And also, lastly, I also want to mention this, right? Even if they don't belong in your world, it doesn't mean that you have to be bitter about it. It means that, hey, it was great. I had a lot of fun with you, and that was fun. But I also know that, hey, you're not gonna tell them this, but you're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna basically remove myself, because a lot of the effort that I'm giving onto this, it's not being reciprocated. Right? The greatest negotiating position is to walk away and mean it. It's like, but you don't have to be bitter about it. Just be like, hey, you know what? It's great talking to you. It sucks that we couldn't make this deal, but hey, maybe next time. If something else that you got comes up, maybe I might come back. But it was great talking to you. I like you as a person, right? That's where you build that trust, that rapport, that bond. Okay. And slide number 3 is reflect it on yourself. How are you going to reflect it on yourself? Reflecting it on yourself means, do you possess these traits? Do you possess these traits? The worthy is, the deserve is meant for the worthy, right? Reflect on yourself. Are you a person that keeps attracting the same type of people? Like I said, like attracts like. So if you're giving these this type of energy out, it could be a high possibility that the quality of the people in your life won't change unless you change. if I'm just bitter about, like, go out there and start yelling at people or just being bitter, right? Making mean faces, right? What's wrong with you, right? Sense that energy. Keep that same energy and try. And if you're a guy and you're trying to talk to a girl, try to use that same energy and talk to a girl. I could guarantee you she is not gonna be attracted to that, unless you're doing it in a humorous way, like, why'd you wear that, right? Versus, why the hell do you wear that, right? You can hear that, and human beings are the best machines to detect fake people. Your intuition is usually correct about another person. And Maya Angelou said, when a person shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Because your character is destiny. How you reveal your, like, no matter how hard you try to fake it, eventually who you become or who you are, especially if you're a person that takes shortcuts and you're trying to fake everything, what's going to end up happening is your character will be revealed. So that's why it's like, yes, there's no shortcuts. If you want to become a better person, you got to invest that time. And that's why you're here. You're listening to this. You have to be who you want to attract. Like attracts like. If you're not even there, what makes you think that person is going to stay there? Or you can even attain it? Or if you can attain it, is it sustainable? So reflecting it on yourself, are you closed off, right? Because these are good questions. And these are questions that I ask myself that I'm sharing with you guys. Like, was I closed off? Am I not open to being vulnerable? That's what I'm talking about. Closed off, not meaning, oh, I don't want to talk to this person, right? I don't want this, I don't want that, right? But being closed off meant, am I open to being vulnerable? And vulnerable is different from being weak. Being weak means that you accepted that fact and you're just like, well, that's life, and you don't have to do anything. But being vulnerable means that you're actually being aware of, like, hey, there are some faults that I do have. There are some things that I need to work on. And what is it? And then you start thinking about it. And then when you think about it, you write it down on paper. Make sure you write it down on paper. And then you start jotting it down. And then you apply the actions that's necessary to improve yourself. Why do I get angry? Why am I like this? What's causing that? Right? So here's some examples, right? Are you closed off? Are you selfish? Do you avoid conflict and confrontation? Do you like to avoid it? And avoidance, protecting yourself and avoiding is two different things. When you protect yourself, you're just not the type of person that I want to be around. So I'm protecting myself. But if I'm purposely trying to avoid you because of some things that you're saying is actually truthful, but it hurts me, then you're not going to progress. So it takes a little bit of hurt in order for you to grow. You have to learn to let some things go, because past traumas is what's holding us back. Getting angry with your partner is perfectly normal and perfectly healthy. You could be upset, but it's how you. So there's two things. Are you responding or are you reacting? Most of the time when you're reacting, it's based off emotions. Emotions, I'm not saying that emotions are wrong. I'm just saying that your character is going to be revealed based off how you react, right? Or how you respond. So if you react in a way where it's explosive, you start getting angry, your tone comes off a little bit different, then of course they're not going to feel safe and comfortable to open up, especially if you're a guy and you're talking to your woman and you're trying to open her up, but you're angry. What the hell's wrong with you? What do you mean? I tried to do all this. You're trying to logic and reasoning, and it's causing her to pull away, because based off that tone, you don't understand her as a person. That's why she says, you don't understand me. But let's just say you do understand her. And she did say, you don't understand me. Oh, I don't. Okay. I don't understand. You mind, helping me, because I don't really understand it right away. I don't understand what's going on. Like, what's going on? What are you feeling? Right? That's, if you're unaware, but being here, you can ask me questions, right? How I would approach that situation is, and she's my girl, I'd be like, baby, what's wrong? What's going on? Well, she's yelling and screaming. Of course, I wouldn't want that in my life, but let's just say life is squeezing her, and that's what's causing her to gush those feelings out. Of course, I want a happy, healthy, normal woman, right? But from time to time, if life does happen that gets in the way, okay, fine. I'm like, what's going on? What's bothering you? Learn how to open her up mentally. What's going on? What's bothering you? Tell me. Tell me what's going on. Oh, is that what happened? Okay. What else? Oh, she said that. Okay, okay. And just listen. Don't try to fix it. And if she wants you to fix it, she will tell you. And if you're not sure, you should ask her, babe. I'm reward her for that behavior too. It's like, I'm happy that you could share that with me because, I love and I care about you. And I want to make sure that you're okay too. Because when you're okay, you're happy. And I like to see you happy because love is about giving. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. And if they are free to open up, especially if you understand women, they're learning to open up to you. They're going to always be there for you. Now, of course, like I said, character is destiny. If that person loves lying, cheating, and going around sleeping around, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. But if that person values loyalty, commitment, and they want to be with you, and they hold the words, they bind the words to what they say, and they have integrity, that's it. Usually those are good traits, and those are traits that you should look for too. Let's see. Gem Mint Pokemon. Yo, what's up? Let's see. Arguing. Okay. Cheeky. No relationship is magical like fairy tales. Absolutely not, right? And we fall into this this fantasy of how, Disney princesses, that's not how it operates. So we have to understand that that's just not how it works. And believing in that is literally ignoring reality, right? Because like social media is no different than what you see in Disney channels, right? It's projecting this type of reality that my life is great and when it's really not. But it's really understanding we all have faults. I have faults, right? I like, and you could see all the things that I do like, but I'm authentic. And that's why authenticity and genuineness of who you are, number one, it doesn't drain you. Number two, if you get to be who you are, it lifts you up. It doesn't mean you don't get tired and you don't want to go to sleep, but I'm saying like audit yourself. Question that. When I am around this person, are they happy, healthy? Are they excited to see me? And if so, is that worthy of my time? And that answer is yes, because they do make me happy. They do make me want to stay around them. But if that person drains your energy, and it's like every single time I always need to try to make you happy. And it's like, well, at the moment they're not happy, well, guess what? You're not happy anymore. It's like, no, it's draining. You want to be around someone that wants to be around you, that is excited, that's enthusiastic, and you want a happy, healthy, normal person with you. And if they got some past traumas, let them deal with that. Because why? You're working on your own. And eventually, you're going to attract that right person into your life. And you also get to see things. You see with your eyes, you see things. But you see with your mind, you see answers. So, that's why it goes back to my other quote, which was fighting harder won't save you. Thinking more clearer will. And that's a key. That's a key to a happier, in anything that you want to do. Having a plan, having a goal, setting that for yourself, right? So in areas of your life that is already going great, good, continue that. But there's also other areas of your life that needs work. What is it? Ask yourself. Okay? So, do you possess these traits? Are they selfish, closed off, problem focused versus solution driven? Do you have a bad temper? Are you defensive? Are you dishonest? These are certain qualities that if you possess, that you really have to question what is the cause, what's causing me, right? And literally, I've heard this so many times when people say, I've never given a book to be human. Well, guess fucking what? How to Win Friends and Influence People is a fucking book to be human and understanding, right? And this is, when I first read this title of this book, I was like, it sounds manipulative. But then that when I thought about that, number one, I judged the book by its cover, but number two, if it's manipulative, and I'm thinking that no one will ever do or say anything that is not a direct reflection of how they feel, of who they are at that moment. So if I was thinking like, oh, that's manipulative, I had to question, like, am I manipulative? Am I the type of person that's manipulative? If it is, like, how do I change that? I don't want to be that, because manipulation, it's gonna be draining, right? I might get what I want. It might be attainable, but is it really sustainable when it comes to my mental capacity? How much I'm willing to draw in? Like, is it gonna? I don't want to grow up and be miserable. That's not where I want to be. I want to be successful and happy, not successful and miserable, right? Depends on what success means to you, right? Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And success is the type of thing that, look, if that person wants to be the best mother, to them, that is success. If you want to be the best person of this, that is success. But success falls into pockets, and it's like, where do you fall in? And if there's that area that you don't feel successful in, how do I get better? Because the quality of the questions that the quality of life that you have is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you consistently ask yourself. So in reality, if you're asking yourself poor questions, well, guess what? You're not going to have good quality life, because you're not asking yourself good questions. Okay? Now, moving on. So, if you're attracting these type of people, these same kind of people, number one, this is it, because you haven't focused on to take on some full responsibility and accountability for yourself. I don't need to change, they do. Bullshit. You have to be better. Okay? Unless you want to settle with mediocrity, by all means, that is your life. That's your choice. I'm not here to change that. But if you want to live a life and you love and value yourself and you want more and you want to achieve that, you have to work towards that, right? You have to work towards that. And how do you do that? By asking yourself good quality questions, right? How? What's causing this? Where? So if you don't know, ask yourself why, how, what? Ask yourself that. So spend time with that, right? Another one is like, you're looking for someone to save you, to share that love, or no one's coming to save you no matter what. I just want a person that wants me. It's like, well, good luck. You can sit there all day, nothing's gonna happen. You don't another one is you don't believe that you need to improve. I'm already good enough. They should already accept me for who I am. It's like, no, absolutely not. Like, unless you become better, staying still will only pull you back. Time moves forward. And if you're not willing to adapt and understand or refresh your mind with some of the ideas that's been given to you, then you're going to be held back. It's easy to see what's in front of you. It is more difficult to see, to focus on the things you can't see, which is inside. What's going on, right? Question your intentions. Take care of your emotional and mental health, because you can't give what you don't have. So if I'm always upset and I'm coming back from work, right? I'm coming back home from work, and I have this little ounce of energy to, I'm having a shitty day, but you know what? I want to make sure that my wife or my girlfriend or whatever is doing good. And I go back home and she's in a shitty mood, and I only have that ounce left. I'm gonna be like, babe, like, instead of talking about how I feel because I just had a shitty day and I'm coming back home, and I'm just gonna be like, so how's your day been? And she's like all bashing on me, complaining about the things that I couldn't do, but literally ignore all the greats that I've done too. It's like, okay, if you're gonna blame me for all my faults, talk about some of the greats that I've done for you too. Talk about that too, right? And it's like, no matter what, I will only have that ounce. And then eventually it's gonna be depleted. And once it's depleted, I'm gonna be like, you know what, there's too much. I don't want I don't want to be around here no more. I don't want to be around here. But if you're going back and your husband or your wife or whatever kind of fills you back up, oh, you had a bad day, what's wrong? What's going on? And they're more there to give to you, like what's wrong? Even though she's having a bad day and you're there, she's willing to hear you out. You willing to hear her out because she literally just refilled you up and you refilled her up. That sounds wrong in so many great ways. I don't know, whatever, right? But you're there to give. You're there to support each other, to lift each other up. That's what a healthy, happy relationship is. Someone that's easygoing, easy to get along with, someone that's there for you. And then you have this mindset of life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. So any adversities that is going to be thrown at me, well, guess what? I'm going to learn to see that as, hey, you know what? Life is challenging me to be better versus life is always attacking me. So I want you to think about it. Are you playing not to lose or are you playing to win? Playing not to lose is a very competitive mindset, and that's gonna be draining. Playing to win is like you're there, you have love, you have desire, discourage, right? So where do you place in that spectrum? Are you playing not to lose? Or are you playing to win? Because when I go into a relationship, I'm not there like, I hope that person doesn't cheat on me. I hope. Like, no, stop hoping. See it for how it is. Does this person lack integrity? Do they value commitment and loyalty? Those are what's important to me. But if you don't know that, if you don't know what you want, how can you expect it on somebody else? So, I talked about, like, taking care of your emotional and mental health. You can't give what you don't have, okay? And taking care of your physical health is equally important. Not that if you feel like you're a little out of shape, you could ask yourself, hey, maybe what are some of the things that I could do to be a little bit more healthier? Because not to prove to anybody that I am healthy, but I want to, number one, I want to live longer. I want to be able to enjoy life because, like I said, time is limited and you never know. You never know, right? Or you could just sit at home and just, ignore everything and do absolutely nothing, right? Humans do more to avoid pain to gain pleasure. But anyways, I have one last slide, which is, spend time with your own thoughts, right? Because you can reflect on yourself and that's great, but if you don't spend time with your own thoughts, it's not going to go anywhere. Spend time with your own thoughts, right? Fighting harder won't save you, thinking more clearer will. Okay, after all, everyone's favorite topic is about themselves. Everyone loves talking about themselves. Talk to your friends. What's your favorite topic? Do you want to talk more or do they want to talk more, right? But you can't give what you don't have. So if you have a whole lot of things that you need to unleash out, it means that something is causing you to hold back. That needs to be let go so that you don't feel that certain way. So you feel less anxious. And it's like, well, resolve that so that you could give more and give it to the people that deserve it. And when they feel like they're being heard too, they're going to reciprocate. And if they don't, it means that you're giving it to the wrong person, right? So everyone's favorite topic is about themselves. If you could talk about yourself all day to another person, why is it difficult to nurture yourself in silence? If you could talk to somebody else about all the achievements and everything that is going good for you because you love talking about yourself, or all these things that's happening to me or whatever, why is it so difficult to nurture yourself in silence? Sit down, go home, peaceful, take a shower, do whatever it is to relax. Sit down, stare at a wall. Absolutely don't think about anything, but think about some of the things that it's causing you. Like, what is your subconscious thought really telling you? What's going on? Are you telling yourself like you're never gonna be worthy of love, or this person never loves me, or I've given so much to a person that feels like it's not being appreciated? Like, why? Is it deep down that do you have some things that needs to be worked on? Deep down, do you have some insecurities? I know I had a lot of insecurities. oh, that person will never like me. Why? Look at you, Mitchell. Like, you're not doing anything for yourself. You don't work out. You're out of shape. Look at your hair. Look at you. You didn't even brush your teeth this morning. Like, what's going on? Like, get yourself together. And so, little by little, I start stacking things that are trivial. I start stacking things. What do you do most, Mitchell? Well, you sleep. You brush your teeth. Like, so those are things that is this trivial. You breathe, right? So I'm like, all right, what do I need to invest on to live a happier, healthy life, right? Well, sleeping is important. Get a good bed. Brushing your teeth is important because most of the bacteria goes into your mouth, goes into your system and all that, right? You don't want to be sick. You want to be healthy. Okay, so spend time on trivial things. Those are what's actually important, right? Then reflect on some of the things that's actually causing you, like, why do these tendencies always tend to keep popping up? Why do I keep attracting these type of people? What is something that's wrong with me that I need to work on and start working in that? Because, hey, I want to be happier. I want to be with someone, like, for me, men, we're visual creatures, right? I want to be with someone that's hot and gorgeous. Okay, but what am I doing? What do I have? What do I possess? What do they want? They want someone that's successful financially, right? But they also want, and one of the key things that everyone always talk about is, for men, what is the most attractive trait? Confidence, courage, breaking through barriers. Like, that's masculine energy, right? Overcoming challenges, having a purpose, staying grounded. I've never felt so grounded in my life by just understanding certain words and mantras, if you will, that I live by. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. The quality of questions, or the quality of life, is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions you consistently ask yourself. Are you working out? Are you eating healthy? How can I expect someone that goes to the gym if I can't even go to the gym myself? I got to be there, right? People learn through actions, not through words, right? So why is it that we could talk about ourselves all day to our person, but we it's difficult to nurture yourself in silence? What are things that needs to be done, right? The truth is, this isn't easy as it sounds, but it's simple. It's simple, but it's not easy to do. Since we do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. And to gain pleasure requires time, it requires commitment, it requires consistency. And look at your daily rituals. What are some of the things that you do consistently, and what are you avoiding, right? So I love what Jim Rohn said. He said that it's not what the book costs you. This book cost me $10 or $16, 13, whatever. It's not what the book costs you. It's what it will cost you if you don't read it. Because this is years, decades into understanding. Like, can you imagine someone that went through a lot of things, and this is the book to be human? How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read this once a year at the minimum, because we need reminding as much as we need education. So this helps me not only be reminded of, Mitchell, hey, sometimes life gets in the way, and there's obstacles that comes at us, but it will allow me to really sit down and be like, okay, what's going on? How come that's happening? Is it under my control? Control your controllables. You can't control how another person feels about you, especially if you put in your best foot forward and they don't appreciate it. So let me bring it to a place where I am desired, where I am deserved, where they're excited to see me and all that, right? So really question that. Your commitment, your consistency. What are your daily rituals, right? Spend time with pen and paper. Do not use your mind as a filing cabinet. Spend time with pen and paper and really write down what you want to improve on yourself. Don't use that notepad that you have. Write it down. That's why journaling is so important, right? Journal it down, right? Because that's number one. It's time spent. You can always look back at it and be like, wow, 2 years ago I wrote this down, and am I still there? And you get to reflect on it. But if it's like typed down, you're like, well, I got the date. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like you really invested the time. Pen and paper is I it's that tactical experience that you're actually applying work and energy, right? If you don't write it down, what makes you think you're serious about it? Write down your daily rituals, right? What do you spend most of your time on? And if you're a person that spends a lot of time on like Netflix, entertainment, by all means, hey, that's what you want. That's what you want to do to unwind. So be it, right? But if you're doing that to escape reality, there's really no different than doing it through drugs. The only difference is that drugs harm your health, but you're spending your time away in a more healthier way. It's like saying, "Oh, I'm not eating Cheetos. I'm eating pita chips or fat or 33% fat-free chips, but you still eat a shit ton of it." It's like, well, you just made it back up, right? That's why, like with Oreos, like, less filling. It's like, oh, then but you just literally just ate like 15 more than you normally would have. It's like, well, did you really did you do yourself a favor, right? Just to make yourself feel better, right? So stop lying to yourself. What are some of the things that you need to work on? We have to participate in your own rescue, right? And by understanding another person, right? What makes a relationship work is things in common. You like the same thing. Hey, you like Pokemon. I like Pokemon too. We could talk about that. That's great. I love that. I love that you like Pokemon, right? I love that you love improving yourself, because I'm with that, right? Because I understood the pain behind not improving and staying stagnant, right? That's great. But what makes a relationship passionate are things that are different, which is different in type of energy. So in gay, lesbian, whatever relationship that you're in, I want you to understand that there are two different type of energies. There's masculine energy and there's feminine energy. What usually causes this unbalance, this sexual polarity to feel off balance, is when someone vacillates between masculine and feminine. So a good example is in a gay or lesbian relationship, if the man or the masculine person in that relationship is becoming a little bit more feminine, it's going to cause the other person that's feminine to be like, I don't even know where you're standing now. Like, at first I thought you were this masculine, or this quote unquote guy, if you will, this masculine energy, but now you're acting like a bitch, and that's causing me to throw my shield up to prevent me from opening up. Because as feminine energy is about opening up to receive love, bonding. Let them be the one. Oh my God, I love you. Let them come to you, right? And if they come to you, you would never get turned off. When the door's open, like Bruno Mars, leave the door open, right? All you have to do is just walk through it. They make it super easier. But when it gets a little bit more difficult, that's when you see the test. It becomes more difficult to pass. And you could see that. You could gauge that level. And that's the beauty of it. There's things that you could see. Okay, let's see. That book has a revision that just came out 11 days under the supervision of original. Cool timing. I grabbed a copy off. Oh, did they? Wow. I like this book so much that I listened to it on Audible. I bought the physical copy. I bought it on a Kindle, right? And like, I just listened to it. Let it play. And if you have the time to really spend time and just really sit down with a pen and paper and understand people, like, this book tells you how to be human. It doesn't show you much. It still falls under the same category, but it doesn't show you what attraction is to a woman, right? You still have to understand that too, right? But it's literally enjoying the process. It's like, well, this allows me to understand people. Only the second revision on the original release in 1936, right? It's like it blows my mind to see like someone kind of figured it out, and yet no one is reading this. Yo, what's up, JR? How's it going, bro? You should have Google Docs of your favorite books that you recommend. I'm a type of person that loves reading the same book over and over and over and over. There are some books that I read, right, that I listen to. I always go back to what I enjoy most. Now, I would love to know more about what you guys like to read. I've seen a lot of suggestions. So, little by little, like I'm looking up Jordan Peterson, right? Like he talked about the 12 rules of life. Like think about it. Here's a quick example. It's like if you're in a relationship, right? And I'm the more dominant one, this power guy, whatever, right? And I'm living with this girl, and it's like I just gotta make her like, and he used lobsters as an example, and he's like, why? It's like, why are you talking down about the person that you have to live with? Why? You still have to live with them. If you don't have to live with them, great, great. You're unattached, but you still care about this person. Why wouldn't you want that person to be happy with you and support you? Why? Because you feel like you're power hungry? Okay. Maybe behind that anger, right? It's fear, because behind anger is always fear. Behind anger is fear. So if you're fearful of some things, and you're always if you're always angry, and you have some fear, some underlying fear that you have. So what is going on with that? So you really have to question your motives. What are your intentions? What's causing you to become this type of person, right? So I had to literally sit back and think about, like, okay, if I want this person, and not in a manipulative way, but it's like I want, because I love them, and I love this person, I want to make sure that it's coming from a genuine place, right? So it's like, hey, how's your day been, right? What's going on? What's bothering you? And also, men who understands women, do not argue with them. You can have disagreements, don't argue, right? The moment you try to justify, clarify, explain yourself, that's why women literally made up the term mansplaining, right? And I don't blame them for that, but they using that in defense of, you're trying to tell me something that I don't understand. You're mansplaining, right? So I understand it, but it causes this kind of ripple effect towards men. It's like, you're just being a bitch because you just literally made up another term so that you could be defensive. It's like, we're not collaborating anymore. We're being competitive. And in any relationship, if there's all this type of competition, it's not going to work, right? If you're always trying to fight each other, trying to explain why you should love me, it's never going to work. But for men, like I said, I didn't make women the way they are, right? Talk to the man upstairs, but it's being able to, like, okay, what are some of the traits? What do I need to do as a guy so that I can understand what she's thinking about? And if I don't understand, please let me know, because I would love to understand. But in order to be at that relaxed state and the relaxed mind, I have to be at peace with myself. So if I have some underlying things that I need to deal with, whether it's insecurities, some confidence issues and whatnot that I need to take care of because I can't provide that, because I can't give what I don't have, let me work on that, and then I could focus on this. And that's why it is always better to be in a relationship when you are both complete, not to share each other's completeness, not to complete each other. Okay. And that's the value of being in a relationship, is being there with a supportive member, someone that lifts you up. She should be your biggest cheerleader. And if she's not, spend it somewhere else, right? If you did what you did, walk away. If she doesn't appreciate it, or if he doesn't appreciate it, walk away. Okay, let's see. I don't know why God made women more emotional. So my theory about that is because, women has a lot more to lose. And, so like, think about it. Like, they got to bear kids, right? It sits in your tummy for like 9 months, and like, you can't even drink wine, right? Like, stuff like that, right? And to make it a little bit more lighter, right? But like, there's a lot more to lose, right? Us guys, we could literally spread our seeds till we're like 50, 60, right? Women, there's a time limit, right? So of course they got to be a little bit more reserved. And men, since we're more visual creatures, it's like, that's what we want. But it's like, it depends on where you are at in life, right? So I really have to sit down, like, hey, Mitchell, like, what is going on with you? Hey, you ain't good yourself. What makes you think you could get that person? And here's the fact too, I'm not going to attract everybody that I like. I'm not gonna have everybody like me, and that is okay, right? And that's where the whole stoic approach comes. It's like being unaffected. It's like, oh, you don't like me, that's okay. I'm not gonna be passive aggressive about it, but you know pleasure meeting you, right? I'm not gonna be upset about, like, screw that person, what's wrong with you? But it's more like, yo, if we don't align, we don't align. But I hope we could be in the same room together and be okay with each other. You might not like me, I might not like you, but I will respect you, right? And that's part of being human. Let's see. I have a huge surprise for y'all. I promise I'll be able to show y'all what. All right, cool, dope, dope, dope. I can't wait. Yeah, let's see. So emotions help with survival for women. Yeah, but also, as a woman, well, not me as a woman, but as I would, me personally, I would want to align with a woman or a lady in my life that understands me too. Like, understands that, hey, there are certain needs that I need. Is she happy, healthy, and normal? Does she have some things that she could deal with herself, but also understands that, look, as people, we both have problems. It's not that your problem is bigger than mine. It's just that if you have a problem, let's work on it together, because why? We're here to support each other. I'm there to help you out, but I'm not there to save you. Hell no, that ain't my job. Even if you're a doctor, you still got to save yourself, right? So it's like, you have to be there for yourself. You have to participate in your own rescue. But we all love helping someone that's willing to help themselves. Just remember that. When was the last time you really wanted to help someone? Take away the emotions that you have for that person, right? If that person's coming to you, they'd be like, hey, I really need your help. I would really love your help. And they're willing to put in the effort. Dude, yo, let's go. What's going on? I'm here for you. What you got, right? If it's my boys that's coming to me and be like, yo, Mitchell, yo, this chick, I really like her. What's going on? Like, I need some help. Can you help me with that? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? And same applies. Hey, yeah, they might be good with cars. When it comes to cars, I'm a piece of shit with cars. I don't know shit about cars. I'm like, yo, I heard something. Maybe you could check it out for me. Could you do that? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got you, right? Hey, and maybe, help me out too, so that I don't have to keep coming back to you, so that, not to say that you don't do a great job. You do an amazing job, but what's something that I could do on my own, so that, I could save you time, and, we could have more quality time together to hang out, kick it and stuff, right? So how can we do that, right? So that's why it's always better to help yourself first. It's always better. And if there's an area of your life that needs working, work on that. And that's the beauty of it. It's literally having something to look forward to in life. And that's the beauty of life, is being able to wake up and be like, wow, like when I wake up, I have a purpose. I'm driven to understand more about this, and I want to know more. I feel like I don't even know enough about the information about relationships. And that's what I feel like, right? And to people, they're like, well, no, Mitchell, you already know a lot. No. I need more. I like it. That's what pushes me forward, right? So, I do want to share one quick thing about this book is, in the beginning of the chapter, it does talk about, as much as we thirst for approval, we dread condemnation, right? So remember, the next time that you're going to approach somebody, approach them with encouragement, because encouragement is, we learn way more through encouragement than condemnation. What is wrong with you? Why did you do that? Like, no, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to hear that. They heard it enough. But you'd be like, hey, you know what? I've seen some things. Would you mind if I, come in and, like, see what's going on? Or, I see that you're doing this and that's great, but do you mind if I give, maybe give my 2 cents, if you don't mind, right? Be a little bit humble about it and be like, oh yeah, what's going on? Like, it's great that you did this, but like, if you did it like this, and I want to show you, like, it could be, you're going to be saving yourself a lot more time, right? And that's through encouragement. It's like, really, like, wow, like, thank you, appreciate it. Like, I appreciate your time, thank you. And so, yeah, this book, please, if you haven't read it, read it. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm actually not sponsored by anything on this channel, right? But like, thank you for, showing your support and supporting me by watching this, right? And I hope you guys gain a lot of value from this video. But yeah, that is today's show, like being attached to unavailable people. Like, where do you sit in this category? And if that person is emotionally not available for you, whether they have some things that they need to take care of, well, you know what? Walk away. It's okay. It's don't take it personal, right? Like how I see it, James Bond, like, okay, that's okay. Somebody else will be there. Or, hey, I'm not here for you. I'm not gonna sleep with you. Okay, sure, yeah, okay, right. It's like you almost want to like dare them to leave you because you're such the you are the shit, right? Men who understands women are loved by women. Okay. So that being said, guys, do really appreciate you all for tuning in. If you guys do find this video content of value, please like and share with your friends, or save it, watch it, do whatever you want with it. This information is for you. I would love to see you guys flourish in relationship and yourself, right? Because hey, you know what, Mitchell has a lot of flaws too, so I can't wait to keep working on myself as well. But Bonnie, thank you for coming in, right? Zach, thank you. Great stream. Thank you. I appreciate you putting it together. Have a great day. Thank you. You too. Chevelin, Mark, 3D portfolio. Big issue is letting go of the emotional investment. It is. It is. So everybody that's watching, appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely, lovely Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe out there. A lot of things been happening. So want to make sure that everybody is safe. Love y'all. And I catch you guys on the next episode. All right. Peace.